The story so far. Jacob grew up with a twin brother named Esau. Because Esau was the firstborn, he was meant to get the special blessing. But Jacob was a trickster, and with the help of his mother, he wound up getting the blessing for himself. This made Esau furious, so Jacob ran away from the promised land. Jacob had been working for his uncle Laban for many years, and God had blessed him with a large family and lots of animals and wealth. Then one day, God told Jacob to go back to the land where Esau still lived. So Jacob sent some messengers to Esau to say, "Your servant Jacob has been staying with Laban. He has cattle, donkeys, sheep, goats, and servants, and he begs to find favour in your eyes." When the messengers returned, they said that Esau was coming towards him with 400 men. 400 men? This made Jacob afraid. Either Esau was very popular, or he was bringing an army to attack him. So Jacob split up his people into 2 groups and sent them ahead, hoping that if Esau attacked one group, at least the other might escape. Then Jacob prayed, "Lord, you told me to go back to my country and my relatives, and that you would make me prosper. I am unworthy of your kindness and faithfulness. Save me from Esau, for I'm afraid he will come and attack us. You've promised to make my descendants like the sand of the sea, which can't be counted." Then he gave the servants gifts to offer to Esau, including hundreds of goats and cows, camels, sheep and donkeys, hoping that this would make Esau happy and allow them back into the land. That evening, Jacob sent all his family and possessions over the river, and he was alone. Suddenly, a man came into the camp and began to wrestle with Jacob. So Jacob wrestled back. This went on all night, and neither would back down, even when the sun started to come up. The stranger saw that Jacob wouldn't give up, and so he touched him on the hip, and that one touch caused Jacob's hip to come out of the socket. But still Jacob wouldn't stop. Then the man said, "Let me go." But Jacob said, "I won't let you go unless you bless me." The man stopped, and he said to Jacob, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you fought with God and with men and won." Jacob had been wrestling all night with God. Jacob said, "Tell me your name." But the man said, "Why do you ask my name?" And then he blessed Jacob. Jacob knew that he had seen God face to face, and so he named that place Peniel, saying, "I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." When Jacob looked up, he saw Esau and the 400 men coming towards him. Jacob was afraid and divided the children up among his wives, and then he went on ahead and bowed down 7 times in front of his brother Esau. But Esau didn't attack Jacob. He embraced him. He ran to him and he threw his arms around him and kissed him, and they both wept. Jacob introduced his family and said, "These are my children that God has graciously given me." Esau asked Jacob, "What's the meaning of all these flocks and herds that I met?" "They're for you," Jacob replied, "so that I might find favour in your eyes." But Esau didn't want the gifts. He was just happy to welcome his brother back. But Jacob insisted, and so Esau accepted the gifts and returned home, thinking that Jacob would follow on later to join him in Edom. But Jacob went to Succoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his animals. From there he moved on to a place called Shechem, where he set up an altar to God. Jacob was safely back in the land, just as God had promised.